Hey everyone, James from Merchant Spring here for another episode of Marketplace Masters, where we bring you insights from industry leaders around the world. So, Andy, thank you so much for making time to chat with me at the end of your day over in Singapore. I just wanted to start by asking you, what is it that you do in the Amazon or e-commerce space?
Hi, my name is Andy. I'm a seller consultant and also a coach. So what happened is we are specialized. My company is specialized in coaching. Amazon, and of course Lazada, Shopee, the local platforms, Shopify, eBay, coaching as well. Mainly in Southeast Asia, including Hong Kong and also Taiwan. So that's our main market. And if you combine all the students combined together from all the countries, we have close to about 4,500 students that I have taught before.
Yeah, fantastic. And I know you've just run the EXW conference in Singapore, which I was a part of, which was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Just on that, what is the Amazon selling community in Southeast Asia like? Like, what's going on there?
I think that most of us, which are in the Amazon seller circle, we know the US sellers, we know the UK sellers very, very well. They are the main group of sellers. But there is also a very large number of sellers in Southeast Asia, mainly in Indonesia, Philippines, Hong Kong, Taiwan especially as well. And I would say that the main differences between the sellers who are in Asia or particularly in Southeast Asia compared to the US sellers is maybe we are a little bit slower compared to the US sellers now. The group or the people that, the things that they discuss or the things that I hear are usually one or two steps slower than what I hear from the China sellers or the US sellers. So it's a bit slower. But in terms of the professionalism and everything as well, I believe that there is still a lot of room for improvement for people who are for sellers who are in Southeast Asia, Hong Kong and Taiwan. But if you're in these countries, don't scold me, don't get angry with me. It's just my feeling. Okay, just my feeling. And of course, we are all here to learn and to improve.
Yeah, interesting. And I think for me and for the rest of our kind of user base, it's very interesting because none of those countries you mentioned really have an Amazon presence, especially like, Indonesia, for example, like they don't have a marketplace. So how does a community of Amazon sellers kind of come about where there is really no Amazon in those particular markets?
As a matter of fact, I don't know whether I should say that, but places like Indonesia, Philippines, and also in Taiwan especially, I believe that, Amazon, a lot of people doesn't even know much about Amazon until I went into the country and start getting people to sign up for my class. I actually contributed a lot of sellers to the Amazon community. I still remember once, James, I was in Indonesia. So I was doing this preview in a hotel ballroom, and there was like 60, 80, 100 people, And after the preview, right, there was this particular gentleman standing there waiting for me, to finish talking to all the people. And after I finished talking, he came to me and said, Andy, can you help me to take a look at my account? I'm not very sure how to make my account better. So I was thinking, he must be like a new seller. And I asked him, how long have you been selling? He said, I started about 1 year ago, and I learned everything myself from the internet. So I took a look, and he was doing about $200,000 revenue per month. $200,000 US. And that is considered, I mean, a good account. It's like he's a 7-figure seller, right? I mean, but the issue was because he learned everything himself, everything was in a mess, and he got a lot of complaints about, IP complaints, everything, and his account is going to be suspended soon. It's quite bad. So I feel that there's a lot of lack of information, and that is why I think it's getting tougher to learn Amazon. As a matter of fact, a lot of people think they know it's getting easier, but it's actually getting harder because there's too much information on the internet now that you do not know which one is correct, which one is wrong, and which one should you do it or you shouldn't do. And in the end, there's too much information. It's getting harder and harder and harder. But James, I mean, like for us, we started like 6 years ago, and I'm sure there's a lot of seniors who are more senior than me. When we first started, you just put any keywords in the title, the product can sell. But now it's no longer this, it's getting tougher.
Yeah, no doubt. And I suppose that's why someone like yourself planting the Amazon selling bug throughout Southeast Asia and kind of professionalizing the community is super critical. And I suppose that brings me to my next question, Andy. Being so close to new sellers or emerging sellers, what are the changes in behaviors you're seeing in new sellers that are coming out, perhaps starting a year ago or today? Like, do you see a lot more sophistication, a lot of more professionalization out of the gate? What are you seeing that's different nowadays?
If I can say something to people who are listening to this, and this will be the most important sentence that I'm going to say in my interview with you today, is this: if you think that the rest, you will die like the rest. Don't ever think like the rest. And the big issue is because there's so many big software companies. Okay, but I'm not talking about Merchant Spring, of course. Okay, I'm talking about those research software companies. There's so many of them out there, and so many of them come out with their video trainings and everything. And everybody is going to learn the same thing on how they do the research, on the same steps and everything. And in the end, everybody get the same result. So that's why I always say that, you can learn all those stuff, you can do all those stuff, it's fine. But maybe you just have to use only about 40%. The rest of the 60% is really by experience. You need to really have a good mentor to guide you to get experience, or you really need to have the gut feeling. Because when you want to be a business owner, you need to have that gut feeling and not something about thinking too much. And that's why, James, just now we were talking about, new sellers that are getting very professional nowadays. They do all the calculation very clearly. How much am I making? Even up to that 0.1%. That is too much. Sometimes in business, you just have to learn to lose some money first before you make some money. And you need to have that gut feeling. To have the gut, the courage to do something about it. Just do and then learn along the process. Don't think too much. And I've seen so many of my students before. They think too much, and in the end, after 6 months, they never started anything. Same thing. So I think new sellers are facing very, very big difficulties now because there's too much information overloaded. So I think the best is really focus on someone you can learn, trust them, and just follow their stuff. And don't listen too much to the other people. I'm sure other people is also good stuff, but just focus on one thing and you do well.
Yeah, no, I think that's very, very sound advice and very practical, Andy, that's for sure. Speaking of advice, I did want to ask you, as we are now approaching the peak season on Amazon, what is your top tip for peak season? Now, just context about this question, right? We're in a very different year. It's COVID. The whole structure of the events and the like is different. We have different timing for different things. So what is your top tip right now for the coming into this season?
James, can I check with you something? Which day is it Children's Day in Australia?
What was it? What was that? Children's Day?
Yeah, Children's Day. in
Oh,
Australia?
every day is Children's
It
Day
is
here.
okay.
Yeah, it's lockdown. But no, I don't think we have that
Oh,
day
you don't
here.
have that. Okay.
No.
Because in Southeast Asia, or particularly in Singapore, our Children's Day is on the 1st of October. So when I'm young, when I was young, 1st of October is Children's Day. But ever since I'm an Amazon seller, 1st of October is what we call quarter four. Okay. That's a joke aside. But anyway, quarter four will be very challenging this particular year. Quarter four for this particular year, 2021, is no longer a year about how good is your PPC, how good is your marketing, etc. It's no longer about that. It's about whether do you have enough stock. Yeah. So the stock will be the stock, or so-called logistic, will be the main issue that a lot of top sellers will be facing. It will be a big issue. Which I also see that 3PL is getting a lot of business. And that's why I always plan ahead. I've actually planned my 3PL, which is about one year ago. So now it's more or less stabilized for my own business. And I'm able to send the stock in fast enough to Amazon. But of course, once you reach Amazon, they will still delay, and etc. So hope you guys all the best to you guys and send enough stock. Make sure you have enough stock for quarter four. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
Yeah, look, again, sound advice, Andy. Spoken like a true professional there. I would say that I'm sure that's a shared problem globally, given the current, kind of logistics situation everyone's facing. But look, I won't take up any more of your evening in Singapore. I will leave it there. But again, thank you very much, Andy, for your time. And I'm sure we'll have you on again, perhaps after peak season, so we can do a bit of a review.
Yes. Thank you so much, James. Thank you. See you.